Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. The channel is called Partnered Healing. Zuzile is my name. I'm a physiotherapist by profession, a life coach as well, certified life coach. I'm a speaker. I'm an MC. I'm a mother, a sister, a daughter, a colleague, a wife, and a lot of other hats that I actually wear, and I wear them with so much grace, and I am grateful to have them actually. But basically, today, this is our first video. Basically, I just want to explain how did we come up about partnered healing. What does it mean? So over the years, I have struggled with depression, and for the longest time I had depression and it was not diagnosed. I think even in my childhood I might have suffered depression and anxiety, but in the era where I grew up, we didn't even have these names. We didn't even have these things. They were not talked about. We couldn't even have language for these things. But I would honestly say deep down, I had a feeling of, I'm not enough. A feeling of I struggled to belong for the longest time. I've always had that in the back of my mind that, I need to work hard in life, because I got exposed to that, you're on your own, you need to fend for yourself. Not in a very bad way, but I think most part of it was the emotional part of it. As a child, I didn't get enough nurturing. It was there, but I'm also just not saying or putting a blame to anyone. When everyone is struggling, when you haven't healed yourself, there's not much. You cannot give what you don't have, which I feel they couldn't give me what they didn't have. The love that I needed, they've never experienced it. They didn't know it as well. So growing in that environment has made me to have low self-confidence as well, sense of not belonging, anger, that you couldn't even exercise. You were not allowed to be really angry at sometimes. You had to pretend to be okay all the time. I went through a school varsity with that feeling, a feeling of everywhere I am. I felt like the spaces that I'm taking are meant for some people. I felt I didn't belong anywhere. I was always apologetic to even be in a chair and sit. I was that child that was always ready to stand up whenever there's someone else who needed a chair. I felt I didn't deserve much in life. I grew up, yeah, I went to varsity, and I think I held on to that, hope, Oguti, when I basically qualify. Now I'm a graduate, I'll be working, I'll have my own things. Then I thought then I'll have value. Yes, I graduated, I started working, things were going so well. And there was a bit of confidence that came with that. There was a bit of knowing who you are superficially, but then when life started hitting, you just crumble back to what you used to and believe about yourself, from the choices and the people that I've dated around that time. It has shown a lack of self-identity and self-worth, and actually, trying to be people pleasing, trying to work so hard for people to stay with me, which is something that I've carried in the most of my adult life as well. And then it came so much, or the realization of really there's something that is not okay in my life, when I was pregnant with my first child. When you think you have made the right decision, and you think you've waited, and you thought you found the person, and then it's only when you're pregnant that you find out a lot of other stuff. And that alone just made me to have, I think that time I suffered clinical depression. But it was not even diagnosed in my pregnancy. I gave birth, it was not diagnosed. I went on with life, but definitely I knew from that time my life was never the same. My life was never the same. I lost so much zeal in life. the energy, the belief that, if I can have this, if I can make it in life, I would deserve to be loved, I'll be lovable, I would belong. And now I had all the things, I had all the successes, but I couldn't attain the love, I couldn't keep, the people in my person in my life. And it made me really, and it was just a struggle. It was just a struggle. The relationship was not the best, but I went on, had second child, had third child, to a point when I had my third child, when I was pregnant with my third child, I was severely depressed. I and one day when I'm brave enough, I'll share pictures from that time. But I was clinically depressed, but still, it wasn't diagnosed. Hey, I was suicidal at my and my third child's pregnancy, but I was not actively suicidal, in a sense that I didn't have courage to actually make or actively and intentionally doing something about it, that I need to end my life. But there were constant thoughts that were saying to me, when you go to give birth on that theater bed, you just die there. And my thoughts and me, I don't know whoever, but I'm a spiritual person. With those spirits that I was talking to, I was definitely sure that I am not coming back after giving birth. I couldn't do life. I told myself I can't do life. This is too hard. This is not doable. Um, Fortunately, God, I think, honestly had something for me. I made it out on that theater room, with really, still not feeling up to it. It was then when I was at home where I really struggled. I had a bad infection, and I could feel that that infection was just the one that was going to get my life. And then at that time, I started wanting to leave, I started wanting life. I started looking at my daughter, and I think it was it was all God's plan, because you know how my daughter just smiled as a baby. It did something on my heart, and I cried out to God and said, God, now I want to leave. Help me to leave. Don't let me die. Those are my prayers. I reached out to my family for prayers, and other people that I can reach to for prayers, and I got better. But still, it was not diagnosed. So that was 2015. Moving fast forward, 2018, I attend a book launch, and they're talking about money, and I'm like, there was a money coach there, and I'm like, this person is talking about the problems that I'm having, that there are people that start businesses, have work, make money, and then reach a certain level, as they reach a ceiling in that, and then they lose all self-confidence and self-belief, and everything just go down crumbling. And I looked at my life, I'm like that. I have energy, I start things, but somewhere I'll just lose it all. There was just gonna be overwhelmed with this fear that, what, I don't deserve even to make money in this business after I have invested so much in it. And she said to me, the way you are telling me, and the way you saying you've done this, and then after this it was this, it's just like, it looks like you are suffering from depression. And I was like, who, me? But it was something that stuck in my head, until I was like, no, what, let me go and see my GP. I went to see my doctor, and after we've spoke a while, she picked up, you are really depressed. I think also in that mix, I think 2017 I lost my father, and I've already complicated the grief, because I also just thought, what, when my father passed, I thought I was the firstborn. I thought I needed to be strong for everyone. I thought I can't grieve. It's just not okay for me to grieve. If I grieve, then I'm making everyone else, have a hard time. So I just needed to hold on and try so hard, not knowing that, that was killing me in a way, that was not good for me in a bigger way. It affected me very badly. So when I started therapy, with a very, oh my gosh, that lady was amazing. Gosh, the first day of my therapy, I cried my lungs out. I think the entire hour, it was just me sobbing. At the end of the session, she just had to lay her hands on me and pray for me. And I was like, so, girl, you're a Christian? And she said, yes, I am. And I'm like, and you do therapy? And he says, yeah, why? And I said, no, where I come from, there's actually a demarcation. Once you go the route of seeking help outside of church, it means you have declared that God doesn't work. And I did the entire session with her, and it really helped because it involved me journaling. She taught me how to journal, what to journal. We worked on a lot of things, me exercising, me doing the things that were really scary for me at that time, and I felt better. We talked about self-identity, self-worth, self-value, self-confidence. We talked about all those things, and self-compassionate as well. And then the realization I only have power to change myself, and I worked on those things, and I felt better, and I became better from that time. I would honestly say I've never went back to fall into deep depression like the other time, because now I had awareness of knowing the signs and the symptoms, and I already know, because the moment I start feeling like this and this and this and this, I would go back. Because sometimes, we're being taught, we're given tools, but when we feel better, we lose those tools. We don't journal, we don't exercise, now we don't watch what we're eating. We just, eat everything. We drink the alcohol and all those things. And those things also have its own impact on our depression, sometimes on the depression, because it's not mine, on the depression itself. So basically, then, but I would always have awareness that, okay, now I think I'm drifting, and I need to go back and do this thing. But I then, at some point, I kind of felt like, I'm becoming dependent, because every time I'm hit, I need to go for therapy to, come up. It was until then when I approached a life coach, and I was like, life coach, help me out. How can you help me? And then that's where I was taught ways of doing life, like, healthy ways of doing life, healthy ways of coping, healthy ways of looking at things. As much as one thing that I've seen with therapy was, especially when we went back to my childhood to see the traumas that were there, the initial part of it was for me being angry at all those people, was for me struggling so hard to forgive, and for me to hold on this, diagnosis that they were giving there. "Oh, I suffer for this, I suffer from this, I suffer from this." But working with a life coach actually really helped me. And the one thing that I've loved was the platform was open to actually say, you need to invite a higher form of life, your highest, your spiritual part of life, which for me was prayer, was God. I was a God child, I was a prayer before, and I just went back to that, and it done so much for me. Like, when I involved God, the parts of me that were just so hard to heal, he healed those parts of me. I intentionally worked on what I can work for, heal from what I can heal from. But the spiritual implications and the things that were now strongholds in my life, the things that I was just struggling to let go, that's when I started involving God. I've seen how he has helped me. And hence, that's why we came up with partnered healing. And then I was like, God has helped me. And I am going to take the initiative to help other women out there, not only limited to women, to help anyone out there who is looking to find ways of navigating life, finding healthy tools to go on with life, and involving God on the things that we cannot do much about. Hence, I'm a founder of partnered healing. So we use biblical views. We follow the Bible. We look at what the Bible says about certain things, and we go on like that. We want lasting changes. We just don't want to do some work, and then when life hits us again, we know we need to go back, and you need to have proper healing, and which done when we do it with God, where he heals the parts of us that are hard for us to heal. So yes, that was just me explaining what is partnered healing all about. So I am excited to go on this journey with you, and helping you, and also just helping myself, because healing doesn't end. It's a continuous thing, and we learn from each other. One of the things that I have also experienced was just when I was working with clients, I was learning a lot of things as well about myself, about the other perspective that I was holding, learning new coping mechanism from people, real people, of which it's a good thing. So yes, welcome to my channel. Please click on the subscribe button and follow me as we go on this journey.